Welcome to the strange and mysterious world with William and Lee.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of Strange and Mysterious World. Welcome to our Prophecies edition. So we are going to be heading back to last year's prophecies. We're going to go through and have a look and see how many of those came true. And then we've got a few prophecies for this year by the same people. So how do you think we did? Before I even go into that, how do you think we did for last year? What percentage do you think we got right?
Geez, well, Lee, I just remember you did a whole thing on the Simpsons. The Simpsons prophecy which all of those were true because it was just but I can't remember the other ones. I remember you said there were some floods and some tornadoes, but I mean that's the thing. Like with prophecies, there's always going to be a flood and a tornado. So maybe I'm sure you got 100% of them right.
So give me a percentage. 100%, you say?
Or 80%.
All right. Okay. Right. So from season 1, episode 13, if you want to go back and listen to that to any of our viewers and or listeners, the first group of predictions we had was from Michel the Nostradamus. He obviously spoke through quatrains, which is like poetic verses. Right. His first, I'm not going to go into all the prophecies like exactly as it was said. I'm just going to go into what the prediction was for that specific, what the people had come up with. So specifically, the first one had something to do with a red army that will become pale with fear, and all assumed that would be Russia or China that would be fearful of the USA. Obviously, with some sort of war that was going on. Did that happen? Big fat zero. No. Wrong. Okay.
But did Nostradamus say? Did he say specifically for 2024?
No, but you see this with all the predictions, besides the Simpsons, with all the predictions. No one knows the date. The people just go on, they go and do the research and they think, okay, this is possibly what happens in 2024. So these people that did the research on this, it's a big fat zero on that one.
But it still could happen. Maybe this year, next year.
Maybe in 10 years. You don't know.
Okay.
Right.
Lose faith yet.
Second one, great floods and parched earth. So obviously famines. Nothing out of the ordinary there for the world. It's kind of same old. So a big naught there. So far from Nostradamus, it's a naught. Percent.
But I mean, there was
yeah, but it's normal.
There's quite a big drought in Madikwe. I was just in Madikwe Game Reserve. There's been a drought there for the last few years. Maybe that was one of the predictions.
Yeah, but that's been for a few years. This was supposed to be for like last year specifically.
Oh, okay.
Then there was supposed to be the king of the Isles will be driven out. So we assumed that the king, who is obviously old King Charles, he would be driven out by somebody that was not of the kingly line. That was also a big fat zero because that didn't happen at all. He's still the king there.
But didn't Biden get driven out?
No,
Isn't he one of the kings?
No, but this is in the Isles. This is in the Isles. So the Isles would be out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, if I just listened to you properly, if I just listened.
And then obviously with every one of these, they said the death of the pontiff. So obviously whoever originally said it, they obviously just copied. So this year would have seen the death of the pontiff, which is the Pope. And that was also a big fat zero because the Pope is still alive and still going strong.
80% isn't looking good, eh?
Yeah, and he also predicted that there would be a massive earthquake in Italy. Remember something to do with Lombardy? Remember I was discussing the fact that Lombardy is actually in Italy. There would be a massive earthquake in Italy, and the earthquake in Italy did not happen. All right, sorry to burst your bubble there.
Please.
And then
maybe in a different dimension. Maybe in another dimension what happened.
And then his last prediction for obviously there are smaller predictions, but we just took the main stuff. And then the next prediction would be the Antichrist to start a 27-year war with massive deaths to start, massive, where it was like a red hail and, it was just bodies all over the place. And did that happen? That was also a big fat zzz. No, did not.
Well, happen. I mean, you could be a year. I mean, look, I'm not politically, I'm not saying I like Trump or I dislike Trump, whatever, but I mean, so to some people, he is the Antichrist, no doubt. I mean,
Yeah, but no deaths have happened in
are
2024, like
lefties.
on a major
But maybe
scale.
they're
So
a year later, and I mean, he's talking to old
could
Putin
be,
at the moment,
could
and
be.
maybe that turns into World War III.
Yeah, maybe. But that's now in 2025. So that's the new predictions. These all predictions are like a 0 out of 6. It's got like 0%. High school, fail, redo the year, buddy. That's not happening. Nostradamus, you sucked for that year. Right, then we move on to the Simpsons. The Simpsons. Right, the first up, they said that Trump will win the 2024 election, and fucking hell, he won the 2024 election, but I think most people actually knew that.
But wait, didn't the Simpsons actually said 2024?
Yes. And that was back
wait-
in 2016, I think it was. No, it was actually before that. I think it was in like 2008 or
They
2009.
actually said the 2024 election. They actually said
Yeah.
the date.
They said the date 2024 because you'll actually see on the badges, it says 2024. Trump 2024. Yeah.
No, that's nuts.
Yeah. But now you must remember one thing about the Simpsons predictions. There's very few of it has got specific dates. So like that one, for example, had dates on it. There's certain other predictions that have come through that are not specifically to date. So I'll read you a lot of these. Yeah, that people have thought that were coming through for last year, but there's no date attached. So this could still come to being. Because if people really want to go and listen to, I've been listening to predictions from Baba Vanga, from Nostradamus, from this guy, Craig. I've been listening and I'm not impressed. I'll be honest. It's just guys taking a swing and guess and kind of seeing how the economy is going, and they're kind of just assuming by the state of it and the direction that it's moving, they're making their own ideas.
But also with the Simpsons, like, I mean, because they put out so many episodes. So, like, if you think about it, maybe every single episode is like some kind of prediction. So, like, I'm sure something will hit. If you're making up so many things, like something is going to eventually hit,
Yeah, but you must also remember now as well, the Simpsons don't always predict, but a lot of the stuff that have predicted have come true. So if you go back and you go look at it, it's phenomenal, dude, what they're saying. But for the specific thing of 2024, where the people have put it together and said, okay, this is probably what's going to happen in 2024. The Trump election, yes, that worked. That definitely came through. There was going to be some sort of cannibalistic virus. People were going to turn to cannibals and start trying each other. That was a big fail. 0. That didn't happen.
Is that the Simpsons now? Or was that something?
That was the Simpsons. They also said that AI was set to take over millions of jobs. Nothing unusual. It's carrying on. It didn't take over millions of jobs, but AI is still there. And it probably could happen in the future, but for 2024, that did not happen. They also said that there was going to be a major power outage in the USA. Major. Like a huge power outage. That was also naught. The world economic collapse. There was going to be last year a massive economic collapse for the globe. That was also a fat 0. And there would be aliens in the government, some sort of disclosure happening, but proper full-on disclosure with regards to aliens. And the government would kind of release that. And that was also a 0. So for the Simpsons predictions for 2024, it's a 1 out of 6. That's an absolutely poor result.
But that's
saying that
was pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, saying that though, it is not date specific. Okay, so this could still come to being, because if you go and look at if you go and just surf the YouTube and you go and look to see what the guys have been saying from early 1995 in the episodes, and a lot of the stuff that they've said 20 years on have come true. So do you remember the Shard in England? There's that building called the Shard. It looks like a weird pyramid shape. It's like tall in England.
Yeah.
London. Yeah, it's quite close to London Bridge. I think it was in 1995. I stand to be corrected. I think it was an episode of The Simpsons in 1995 that actually showed the Shard near the bridge. At that stage, hadn't even been thought about. 12 years later or 15 years later, that actually built it in that spot where they'd seen it. So if you
Maybe
go
the
back to
architect-
the episode, you can actually see it there.
Maybe the guys that put that together and built it were Simpson fans.
I don't know,
They're like,
maybe.
oh, that's a good idea.
Maybe, but there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that they've gone through and spoken about
But that
that's
is
happened.
impressive, though.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Matt Groening, he was the guy that created The Simpsons. He should actually, I mean, maybe we should contact him for like psychic readings and stuff instead of going to our local ones around here, because it sounds like that's the real deal. I mean, these other
So
guys that we on the internet, and then it sounds like I mean, we've got none. At least Matt Groening got 1 out of 6, you know? So I think he's even beating all the Notre Dame's. Cool.
then our next fantastic prophecy came from, or a batch of prophecies came from Baba Vanga. As everybody remembers, she was that's a lady that grew up in, I think it was Bulgaria. She was blind, and then she had apparently a lot of stuff that was happening that came true. So for 2025, there was some stuff that she said. So the first thing was there would be a breakthrough in quantum computing. And actually there was. In December, there was a breakthrough with some sort of chip in the quantum computer that was able to, I don't know, it was able to transfer stuff a lot quicker. And so there was some sort of chip that they managed to upgrade in the quantum computer.
They
So
are on the verge.
yeah, I don't know if that was maybe a coincidence, or maybe it's because the stuff is always upgrading every year. It's upgrading, but I'll give her that one. I'll give her that as a point. Also said there was going to be a global economic crisis. That was a 0. That didn't happen. She also said that there was going to be a massive global disease last year. That did not happen. There was no disease.
Like 2 years late. When was COVID? Geez, was that like 4 years ago?
COVID was 2019 going into 2020. It started in 2019, started 2020.
Okay.
So that was 4 years ago, yeah.
So
no massive global disease. There was apparently supposed to be some sort of alliance with Russia and China. There was no alliance with Russia and China, but however, there was an alliance with Russia and Korea. Because then, if you remember now, Korea started.
She's racist. So when she like does these prophecies, she just like, oh, they all look like Chinese. All the Asians look like Chinese people. She's like, this was China. Eh?
Yeah, I'll give her a half a point there. Okay, half a point. Rise in AR, no, nothing out of the ordinary for AR. Just kind of carried on. There will be some sort of.
No, there might be something in the background we haven't been told about. That they've made some amazing breakthrough that he's scared to tell us.
Didn't come in 2024 though. So some sort of interaction with aliens. No, that's not happening. Rise in natural. Yeah. Rise in natural.
Sometimes they're a bit off. Sometimes it comes a little bit like, because I know I've gone to psychic readings, and sometimes the lady, when they tell me something, it happens like, it doesn't always happen. It happens around that area they suggest. It's like always like, there's quite a leeway, you know, like a front and
like
back.
Like a 5-year leeway. You know, they're back. Going forward 5 years. And...
Well, maybe not 5 years, but maybe a year.
Some sort of interaction with aliens, we said. The rise in natural disasters. No, because there's been the same sort of natural disasters continuously for I don't know,
global warming for like how many years is global warming? I remember when I was at like high school, they said
last 20 years, I think.
Remember they even made that the movie of with Kevin, what's his name? And it was Waterworld when
Kevin Costner, yeah, that was long.
Yes, and then I mean I love that movie, but like that was supposed to happen like 20 years ago. And the hole in the ozone, remember, we were supposed to all have skin cancer and died by now.
Yeah.
What happened to all of that?
Didn't happen. Then there was supposed to be some sort of massive earthquake in the Pacific, and there actually was, right in January last year. In Japan, there was quite a massive earthquake, and that caused that whole big tsunami. And yes, there was quite a big thing that happened there in Japan, January last year. So I'll give her that one. There was supposed to be a rise of cyber attacks globally. That did happen. There was a lot of cyber attacks last year, lots. Even as far as coming down to South Africa, we were attacked by the Chinese. And the Americans were attacked. So it was quite cyber attacks last year was a lot. Was a lot.
Imagine when the quantum computers come about, we'll be screwed.
Yeah. And then the last thing that she said, there was going to be some sort of global power shift, and that did not happen. Okay, so she got 3.5 out of 10.
Okay. Been better than
Poor.
the Simpsons.
Well, so far 3 students are failing badly. All right, and then our 4th student, Craig Hamilton Parker, he's supposed to be he's hailed as the new Nostradamus. He's got something like 193,000 followers, subscribers on his channel.
Okay.
So let's see how he did, because he did 22 prophecies. 22 that I made note of. So let's see how many out of 22 he got. So the first thing he said, South Africa, that the ANC will not win the election.
Well, I mean, they came. It was. They didn't.
Did they win? Did they win the election? Will?
Well, they had to have a coalition.
Doesn't matter. They still won the election. So that's a note there from Craig. Right. He also said that the economy in SA would become good. No, it's still shit.
But look, the ANC didn't actually win full out the election. They had to make a coalition because they didn't actually have enough votes to completely take the country.
No, so
I think he was right though.
No. So they won, but not by a huge margin. So they had to have coalitions to enable to take majority of the, to rule the certain provinces.
Okay, we'll give him half there.
Now giving him naught because they said the ANC would not win, and they did. Even if it was by 1 point, they won.
He was angry that.
Yeah, you must be a better prediction of South Africa. Don't come talk shit, yeah.
That's quite amazing that he made a South African prediction.
Yeah, but it's so wrong. So maybe that's why in his new predictions he actually left Africa completely out, because I think he realized, okay, that didn't work out there. He also said that the Pope will change. He said there will be a different Pope. That didn't happen. There is definitely still the same Pope. that didn't come out. He also said that Joe Biden will leave the office due to illness. He didn't leave the office. He's still in office, and he leaves on Monday when they.
Yeah, but he did kind of he did step down because of illness, and Kamala Harris took over.
No, she didn't take over. He still ran the country.
But I still think we've got to give him you got to give him quite a.
No, because he pulled out of the race, which means he was not up for re-election. Okay,
but he couldn't.
But he didn't step down though. He still ran the country, and he's still running it until Sunday.
As a vegetable?
No, he's not a veg, but he's
vegetable.
He's non-compos mentis.
Like what's the cleverest vegetable you get? Like a carrot?
No, I don't think there's any clever vegetables. Just hang 10 for me. Okay, so Joe Biden didn't leave office. He stayed in. I'm not even going to give him half a point there because the didn't stepped out. He stayed in. He's like I reckon you can give him something there. No, nothing. He's like a Klingon, old Joe Biden. He clings on right to the end, dude.
Like a bad turd that won't fly. That actually came from Waterworld, that saying. I remember when that guy stands on the bow of that ship and he's looking down at Kevin. Fuck, what is this? I keep on wanting to call him Kevin Spacely. What is his name? Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, yeah.
Like, you're like a bad turd that won't fly.
All right. He also said that Snowden and Julian Assange will be forgiven. They haven't been. They're still sitting outside of the US. They have not been forgiven. He said there were going to be. He also said there were going to be some massive blackouts in the US of A, and that also didn't happen. He said Trump will win. That did happen. Yes, 100%. He said there would definitely be an increase in immigration, and 100%. Last year was a massive increase in immigration, especially in America. He said that the UK would close its borders to immigrants. No, that did not happen. They opened the borders, actually, so they did the reverse there. He said the anti-woke movement would rise, and yes, it did, because it ended off.
Oh, yeah, Trump won.
Yeah,
killed that almost.
Yeah, killed that anti-woke, bombed it. So everything is like completely, almost back to normal. He said there would be a massive flood in Chicago. That didn't happen. He said there would be massive disease in New York due to the homelessness. That did not happen. He said Chinese AI and US would cause US banking issues. That did happen. That definitely did happen. He said there would be a first lady on the moon, 2024. First lady on the moon. No.
Yes.
No one actually landed on the moon at all. No one went to the moon last year. And he said that some sort of discovery on the moon would call into question our reality with regards to aliens. And that wasn't discovered.
Well, I hope
he
that
said,
this year. Maybe
maybe,
he's like 1 year behind.
maybe. He said there would be a terror attack in Montreal. That didn't happen. He said a new oil field would be found in Canada. I'll give him half a point there because there's always new oil fields found in Canada every year. They find about 20 new oil fields in Canada every year. He said that London would flood, so don't go to London. London hasn't flooded at all. He said Europe to close borders to refugees. No, they opened the borders more. Big one. Putin dies in 2024.
Oh.
No, he's still going strong. Massive quake in Italy. No.
Also said that.
Yeah. New Pope.
Oh.
No.
Is that this new Pope thing? Every one of them said new Pope.
Yeah, because I think they're all borrowing. They're borrowing from.
They're kind of like all throwing each other, and they're like,
yeah, they're
like
borrowing from Baba Vanga and from Nostradamus.
Well, maybe it's going to happen this year, and they were a year late, early.
And the Chinese economy to collapse. No. So, out of 22, William, Craig got 4.5.
Jeez, that's
Fail.
way less than chance. So,
all right.
Totally
so honestly, the guys must redo matric. Okay.
What, an ESP, matric, ESP school at Hogwarts.
Go and learn from Dick Algar about remote viewing. You might be able to show you how to do it. Okay. For those guys.
But you know what we must do? Like, we must check again when we go into next year, January, and try and see if any of the stuff that they said, because maybe they were a year late.
Well, what I'll do is I'll keep it.
Early.
I'll keep the stuff, and then I'll make a. And as we go on with the year's predictions, we can check to see if maybe the stuff came right. I'm very keen to see with the Simpsons because I'm very interested to what's going on there. Something's very strange. Something's very strange about that series, dude. As much as I love it, there's some stuff.
The Illuminati feeding us, like trying to get us used to what's coming, you know.
But the thing is,
that's the whole theory with like the films we watch and stuff. It's like, because you know that saying, they say like a conspiracy theorist is 6 months ahead of the game, and a sci-fi writer is 100 years ahead of the game, like in terms of what's going to happen. And so like all these sci-fi movies and stuff, it's like almost like kind of getting us used to what's going to come. You know, that's so they leak it to us slowly. So like, you know, all of a sudden when the eye scanner comes to you and you get into the house, it's like oh yeah, I saw that in Total Recall like 50 years ago.
Or Minority Report or something. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's just a small stupid example, but like, so maybe it's the Illuminati that's actually running the Simpsons. Matt Groening's like head of the Freemasons, and he like they're just leaking us out to just kind of get us ready what's coming, you know.
On some of the Simpsons episodes, I think one was called Bart to the Future, where Bart goes into the future. So I think there's some time travel involved, and it may be a case that time travel's already been discovered, and that somebody has gone to the future.
No, Matt Groening's he figured it out.
Well, maybe he's in contact with somebody that's able to do that and kind of gives him heads up.
He's like, damn, I just came back from the future. I got such a good idea for a show. Bart goes and does this and this and that. That'd be handy, yeah.
Yeah. So you remember what I was saying about the astral field? Or the dream field. When you sleep, you're able to see past, present, and future. You're able to connect to those things. So maybe a lot of people that come up with these prophecies and that, and they dream about these things, are actually able to see certain things. Maybe Matt Groening is. Maybe he sees it when he's dreaming. He sleeps and dreams about it, and he writes it down. Because you must remember, a lot of the things that people do movies about dream about the stuff, and they just make a movie about it. So it's
Also, some of
possible
the
that what
greatest
we
inventions,
yeah,
the
correct.
greatest
So
discoveries of all times, like came in people's dreams.
yeah, hundreds. So I think that's it's a huge possibility that could be. Right. So now we got to get on to prophecies.
He needs a time machine. He needs a time machine. You can just go to bed.
Yeah. You just must make sure you've got a notebook next to you so you can write down the stuff when you wake up in the morning.
But that's like also, like they say, Salvador Dali and Thomas Edison used to like sit with two silver balls in their hands and like sit in a chair like I'm sitting now, but you're holding the silver balls in your hands like this on the chair, and then when you slowly drift off to sleep, then the balls fall, and as they fall and hit the ground, they would wake up and quickly write down whatever they because you go into the hypnagogic state, like you slowly go into the hypnagogic state, and enough until you fall asleep, and as you fall asleep, the balls fall out of their hands, it hits the floor, makes a noise, wakes them up, and they quickly write down whatever they were in the hypnagogic state. And that's how they came up with, like, well, Salvador Dali did his paintings, and Thomas Edison came up with some of his inventions, apparently doing that.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, moving on to 2025 prophecies. Let's see what percentage. All right, so look, I didn't get like a ton of prophecies from some of the guys. I got some of the interesting ones. So let's see what happens. We're starting again with Nostradamus. I've got 3 prophecies from him for this year, and I've tried to go into the bigger prophecies, like the small things. I'm not really too worried about that. So apparently there's going to be a massive tsunami or flood in Brazil with a major volcanic eruption in Brazil as well. So it's going to be some major stuff there happening in Brazil, like what Brazil's never seen before ever. All right, so that was his. That's the one, and he said there would be a conclusion to a war in Europe. Now, the only war in Europe currently is Russia-Ukraine. That's the only war we know. And the Israel-Gaza, that's not in Europe. That's more in the kind of Middle East. So, conclusion to war in Europe, I can only foresee Russia and Ukraine, and perhaps when Donald Trump comes in, he'll put an end to that, because that's what he's promised to do quite early on. So maybe that prediction comes true. He also said that the UK will go to war and a disease will break out there in the UK. So, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, UK to war, I don't know who they would go to war with, unless it's maybe like Russia or one of those places. But I can't see anybody wanting to take on the UK currently, because they're allied with the US. So I don't think. But anyway, I mean, you never know. Something could happen where, you don't know. That was Nostradamus. Those are the 3 from Nostradamus. And then I've got for the Simpsons, I've got 9 prophecies for the Simpsons for 2025. Again, there's no dates attached to this. This is just somebody's interpretation, or the guy's interpretation of what they think is going to happen from the episodes that have come through from many years ago, what they think is going to happen this year. So they reckon that there's going to be an economic collapse in the USA in 2025. Although they say that every year, I think there's going to be an economic collapse. They said there's going to be AI to take over, a rise in AI to take over. They also said, this is a weird one. They said that there's going to be murder hornets that will be released. So those hornets, like from the bee family, hornets.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're gonna get
Wasps,
this murder.
like a wasp.
Yeah, like wasps. Yeah, but obviously the hornet side, and they murder hornets, and they're going to be released, so killing people and stuff. Hornets.
So like hornets with the COVID and their stingers.
COVID hornets. I don't know about COVID, but yes, they're going to be killing people. Apparently, let's look out for that one. That's going to be interesting. Then
this is going to be like a little like they're going to shoot like a little bomb into you and you explode, or is it like give you a disease? No, or they just sting you and you die from the venom?
Sting you to death, probably, like swarms.
Or like almost like a industrial military kind of technology.
But you know what's
like
saying
a bioweapon.
saying that, there was actually, I saw a few years ago, they had developed this microscopic, well, it's almost like a weapon, but it looked like a wasp that they could form as a camera. They could use it as a camera, and they could fly this thing out, like I can't remember the distance, but they could fly this thing out, but it was tiny, and no one could see it, no one could hear it, because it was actually in the shape of a wasp. It looked like a wasp.
Wow.
So maybe you're right. Maybe there's some sort of they've managed to arm it, and you could just go and fucking bomb people up, or I don't know, kill them in a way using these little like mechanical wasps.
Jeez, that's insane.
Eh?
No.
Could be, eh? They also predicted, the Simpsons predicted, that World War III would start this year.
Oh boy. So they were like they were the second best predictors out of those other guys.
Yeah. Still poor, but second best.
Right. Still got a chance.
Yeah. They would also, this is actually quite a cool one. They said that a black hole will be found on Earth. A black hole. Okay. But this black hole, if you go through it, you don't die. It actually takes you to another dimension. It takes you to another Earth.
Wow. Can you
So
get
that
back?
almost, that I don't know, but that almost sounds like a gateway. That sounds like they've figured out some sort of gateway, which kind of takes me back into, do you remember that movie Stargate?
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was a series. So maybe they've hacked, or they've managed to kind of figure out what was going on in our ancient past, because I believe that there were gateways to other worlds, and you could find them all over the world.
Mm.
And you were able to travel to different places. So maybe they've been able to find some sort of portal that can get you there. And they maybe this black hole kind of represents a portal that they're able to find that can take you through to different dimensions or different worlds. That would actually be pretty cool. I think that's quite a nice one. Keep my eye open for that one, dude. They also said that there's going to be some sort of holographic advancements and hovering cars.
Nice.
Okay,
We're still on the Simpsons, right?
Yeah, I can't see how hovering cars is going to work, because we're not even near the technology yet.
Or maybe the reverse engineering from Area 51 comes out, and that we got little sources. We'll climb onto our sources and fly around.
Like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. And then they said there may be something called virtual dining. And so it's like a virtual reality, and you've got the straw that goes into your mouth, and and it kind of you feed from the straw, but in your virtual reality, it looks like you're eating chicken or
But
beef.
is it just flavor, or is it actual food?
No, it's
Not
like
like
a
if someone
straw.
like hacks in there, and like makes it like poo. So like the poo, like you start eating poo or something, like just to fuck with people. Like you get
It's funny where your mind goes.
thinking like
Yeah, maybe they so it's the Chinese hack you, and they say, yeah, fuck, you got to be eating shit for the next year.
no, you're having dinner with like the most important person like ever, like like Trump and Putin are having this virtual dinner, and then
Yeah.
the Chinese in there, and then like Trump's busy talking, and he's about to take a bite of his chicken, and it just hits him with a poo taste, and then he's like, can't talk for a while. He's like, sorry, please, and I just like Chinese got us. They got us.
They hacked my bloody food, man. Okay, then also the Simpsons reckon there's going to be something called library robots. So you're going to have robots in the library that can take you to certain specific books and stuff like that. But do libraries still exist? I thought libraries were like extinct.
Like a fucking a robot waiter would make more sense.
Yeah, with like library robots. I thought
Mixing like the most the archaic technology with the most modern technology. It's like
yeah, it doesn't make sense. Eh?
So
Unless maybe because
robot archaeologists.
Yeah, because in South Africa, I think we used to have quite a ton of libraries in KZN, but there's none. There's no libraries left. There's actually zero libraries that I know of. I mean, I might be wrong.
Bankrupt after the post offices.
But not only that, I mean, you can get the stuff online. I mean, if you've got an iPad, you can just go and download the stuff. So it doesn't make sense. But anyway, library robots coming. They also predicted.
That's what we should call out this this episode, the library robots
Library robots.
in 2025.
Okay. They also predicted a nuclear war. That's
Oh,
going to
wow.
happen. Yeah. So that's their last prediction for The Simpsons for
Sure. Why is
2025.
it always like so like devastating, and why can't it be just predictions of like, you know, someone like they freaking discovered how to cure some kind of disease, or like I don't know, like a child's hospital like got billions of dollars. Why is it always going to be like, yeah, there's going to be a nuclear war, there's going to be like a whole bunch of floods, and just always like death and destruction and doomsday porn. Why can't they
Well,
predict something happy?
Well, okay, let's go to Baba Vanga. Baba Vanga. Her predictions for this year. She predicts that cancer will be cured.
Oh, there we go. Jesus, look, I just prophesized that.
Yeah,
I
cancer
just did
and
it
I
right
think she
here
said
on the show.
cancer and Alzheimer's will be cured. She didn't specifically say which cancer, but she did say that cancer will be cured. They will find cure for cancer and
And then they hide it.
Alzheimer's.
They probably
No,
find it
no,
about a million times, and they've hit
no,
it every single time.
they're going to make some sort of vaccine for everybody to take.
Vaccine to like stop them from getting cured
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the cancer.
She also said that Putin will be assassinated by somebody in his own government.
Wow,
year.
but then the other guy from the other predictions predicted in 2024 he would die. Now
Yeah.
they're predicting he's going to get assassinated in 2025. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So now this is Baba Vanga saying this. That's already been said by, I think, Craig for last year, but that didn't happen. So maybe this year. So I think every year we'll run it. One of the years I'll get it right. Number 2, massive earthquake in the US. So big, this earthquake, that it's actually going to divert the Mississippi. Okay, this earthquake that's coming up. All right. There's also supposed to be some massive tsunami in Asia, like a huge tsunami in Asia. Right. And the last one for Baba Vanga is there's going to be biological warfare used by a large country this year, 2025. Biological warfare will be used. Now, as you know, biological warfare is actually against the human, there's a treaty that they all signed that says you're not allowed to use biological warfare.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
okay.
all right. So then we got to get into our last guy for our predictions for this year, Craig Hamilton Parker. He's the one that got the 3.5 out of 22 for last year. We've got a couple from him. Let's run through these quickly. All right. So for USA, he says the law, there's going to be some massive issues with law going forward for this year, and it's got something to do with the moon. So he said he saw a full moon and massive law issues. So whether it happens on a full moon or whatever, he's not sure, but it's got something to do with the moon. When the moon's full, there's going to be just massive problems with law. Okay. He said that Kamala Harris to run as governor for California. I doubt it. I doubt anybody wants to see anything to do with her at all in any in any state.
But you can still run there, can't she? And then I'll just like
She can, but who's going to vote for her, dude? I mean, she like failed so miserably. I can't see, and she kind of lies and doesn't know what she's talking about. So I can't see her running for governor. You know what I mean? And I don't see anybody voting for her. If they do, then they're fucking stupid.
they all lie, Lee. They all lie.
Yeah, but you can't be like you can't be ignorant, dude. You know, I understand. I understand if somebody is pretty good at what they do.
Like, pull it off. You
Yeah,
line,
exactly.
And pull it off like you know what you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly like Donald Trump. I mean, he lies a lot, but he pulls it off quite well.
yeah.
Anyway, there's apparently, he says there's going to be another attempt on Donald Trump's life. But you know, because this he was predicting last year. I think it was in November, December. But I think that's actually happened. I think there was another thing that happened now. I think in January there was another attempt.
Oh, the drones.
No. I think there's something to do with the bomber. There was something to do with the bomber. I was actually, I didn't see it. I didn't see the whole story, but there's that Benny show that's actually quite good to listen to on YouTube. And I saw there was like a big thing. It's this morning. It said another attempt on Trump's life with a question mark.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I mean,
Yeah, and he hasn't even started his like reign yet. He only starts on Monday.
no, and he's already like having meet, like, what do you call it? Putting Putin in his calendar to meet him. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
think there's.
the Oaks are shit scared of him, dude. So whatever he says will go. I'm telling you, he's one of those Oaks that he's like, if Ukraine, he'll probably go to Ukraine and say to him, listen, give Russia that land. You're pulling out. You're stopping the war. That's it. And Ukraine can't do anything because USA are the one that are sponsoring them their weapons because Biden's giving them all their weapons and giving them money.
Yeah, I know he's going to be pissing
Trump,
somebody off stopping that war. So
Trump
all
is
this
going to say,
war,
sorry,
yeah,
buddy, for you. Trump is going to tune, sorry, no more money. The war stops now. You give them what they've, the land, and you're not going to join NATO. Done. War finished. Nothing you can do. And that'll end that. And he'll probably go into Israel as well. He'll back Israel, obviously, because USA have always backed Israel, except for when Biden got in. He'll go into Israel and say, we're with you. He goes to Hamas and all those guys and says, stop your shit now. You give them their land, done. Otherwise, we're going to come and fuck you up. So, done.
Okay. Just a disclaimer that these are
Prophecies.
the views and things on this podcast are not necessarily the views and the opinions of the podcast
Producers
host.
of the producers.
Even though they're saying it, it's like,
yeah, it's just a prophecy on my side. Okay. Apparently, there's going to be some sort of advanced city, an experimental city in the US, where they're going to have some sort of flying cars. It's going to be AR run. It's going to be some sort of experimental city. It's going to be like heavy futuristic. Okay.
wow.
That's going to be quite interesting to see. Apparently, he says Musk and Trump will more than likely fall out. I can't see that happening, but you never know. They'll have a fallout. He says there will be an improved world economy. I can't see that happening either, but he says, improved world economy. Trump will support Israel. That's actually what we said a little bit earlier. And I said that's a given because he's always supported Israel. In Europe, he says Germany and France are in shit. Germany will be in huge decline and France will be in huge decline. There's major problems.
Germany's already in shit because the gas that got cut off from Russia and the economy's.
Yeah, but there's going to be terror attacks in France. It's going to be for Germany and France specifically. It's going to be terrible. He says that Sweden and the whole Scandinavian section are going to become. It's going to be an anti-Muslim issue there. There's going to be massive stuff there to be happening with the Muslims, anti-Muslim. UK difficulty in the economics, farms and businesses closing. They are probably going to want to join Europe because remember they pulled out Brexit.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be break enter.
Break enter.
So they're going to probably want to pull back in there. Pull back.
Get back in the game.
Back in, man. As far as Russia goes, he says that Putin is going to pick up some sort of illness. Probably pull out. He reckons that Israel will hit Iran's nuclear fields or nuclear stations. So Israel's going to crop Iran's nuclear things. He reckons that, that guy Ali Khamenei is the Ayatollah in Iran. He's like the leader, the Iranian leader. Yeah, his name's Ali Khamenei. Apparently, he's going to get taken out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gaza will then become part of Israel this year. Definitely a nuclear issue in Iran, whether it's a nuclear explosion or something, but there's definitely going to be some sort of nuclear thing in Iran. And then the last bit there, Australia will take a knock from their online business. There will be a massive decline in Australian economy, and there will be a massive bushfire in Queensland. So like what you've been seeing now in California, it will be happening in Queensland. Oh, talk about that. The last thing before we finish off that one. The Simpsons, years ago, predicted the California wildfire like it is now, where it's literally destroyed everything, where the Hollywood sign has been burnt, half the words are off. They predicted that, like massive.
Oh, wow.
And
so
they predicted that
Hollywood is hell.
Yeah, they predicted that the mayor that's there would do fuck all to help it. They wouldn't even rebuild it properly. But do yourselves a favor, go and listen to The Simpsons. Go and Google the Simpson prophecies from over the years. You will be surprised on how many actually came true.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They've actually predicted that one of Trump's daughters are going to run for president.
Ah, that's gonna be interesting.
I don't know if that's in 2028. Maybe it's his wife, but there's another Trump. I don't know if it's the daughter, but there's another Trump thing for 2028. Everybody sees it. There's something going on, but they're not sure what it is.
Oh, okay. Cool, man. Well, thanks, Lee. That was amazing. Love that.
No problem. Let's see how many of those come true.
Yeah,
because not even 10% of the last ones came true. So let's see what happens. But anyway, yeah, guys and girls, thank you very much for watching and or listening to us on this podcast evening, and we will spot you guys next week. William, thank you again for your time, bud, and we'll chat to you soon.
Yeah, sweet, Lee. Thanks,
buddy.
Guys.
Cheers.